afternoon, everybody. How are you all? I hope you're doing well. It's lovely and sunny here. I hope you've got the good weather as well, because we're talking very tropical today, and it's the Rspb Tropical Birds Collection, a brand new launch at CraftStash. You can get this. It's designed in-house, so you're not going to find this design, images from anywhere else. It's absolutely beautiful, and we are so proud at CraftStash to be able to do this for you, because we're then giving 10%, a huge 10% of all the profits directly to Rspb. I can't get my words out today. I don't know why. I don't know whether it's because I'm excited or because it's a Wednesday and we're only just starting to do lives on a Wednesday, but either way, welcome. How are you? Let me just have a quick look at the comments. Lynn Clifton's got changeable weather here. Yeah, it is a very interesting collection, actually. I'll run through the collection in just a moment. I want to say hello to a few people, because it's one thing I do forget to do very often is I look at the comments and I forget to actually reply, because I reply in my head. Anyone else do that? You reply in your head and you realise you haven't actually spoken out loud. Hello to Jackie Drake. You were the first one commenting. Good afternoon. She's made it from the start today. Yay! Yeah, we're trying to get live scheduled more regularly, but also in advance as much as possible, so that you can pop a note in your diary or on your phone, set your reminders, whatever, so you can catch us. Deb Rich, hello to you. This is her first live watch. Hi, lovely to have you with us live. And Carol Lewis is always here. Hello to everybody, hope you're all well, and the same to, there's so many of you. Thank you so much for joining me. Now, we've got an amazing deal on this. Please make sure you're sharing this live with your friends, tagging your friends if you know how to do that on social. I will pop over to YouTube in a moment as well. Say hello to a few of you over there too. I have just popped a comment on YouTube saying a quick hello. This is live. I was just doing it while the screen was up at the beginning. I was multitasking. So we've got some beautiful things. Now, there's only 6 items in this collection. That means that you can actually get the whole collection for a teeny tiny price as far as collections go. But if you're spending over £15 on anything within the collection, you're going to get a stencil for free. Now, I'll go through all of those in a moment. The lowest item is £5.99. I think that is the stencil actually, but that's £5.99 stencil you're going to get for free when you spend over £15. Now, if you top your order up to over £30, as you can see just about there, you're going to get free delivery in the UK. Okay, I believe that goes up to about $80 for free delivery in the US. I'm not sure, I have to check that, but it's a little bit more in the US, obviously, conversion and all of that. And I think your delivery prices are quite high, aren't they, over there? Let me know what you do. We were chatting about this in a meeting this morning as well. Obviously, we don't post things in the US, so do you have really high delivery prices as well? That could well be the reason for you having to spend a little bit more. But there we go. It's still an absolute bonus, isn't it? Plus, don't forget, we've always got clear pay on CraftStash as well. So if you're spending over £40, you can split that payment into, I think it's 4 payments that come out every 2 weeks. So you can effectively spread your payments over 2 months. No interest to pay on that either, no credit checks or anything like that. It just means that if you want to buy a little bit more and budget for it across the next month or 2, you can do that. Okay, let's go on. Come down to my desk. Let me just switch the view for you so you can see what we've got, because this Rspb Tropical Birds collection, or Summer Tropical Birds, is stunning. Now, we had the spring birds, spring garden birds. I know we've got some other seasons in the pipeline as well, but I just love that we've got this collaboration with Rspb, because if you've, I don't know, many of you have probably, like myself, when you were younger with the school, got along to the, like the birds, I don't know what they call them, so... Oh, someone help me out with the word, where you go and you see all the birds, and we've got like the marshland, and you've got the little bird watching huts and things like that. We've got Minsmere near us. That's where we always used to go. It was great fun. Absolutely loved it. Some of you may be twitchers watching in your garden and making a note of the birds you have. I've just moved to a house that's got a field behind me, and every garden except we've got a couple of bird tables, but I've got a cat, so I was careful to remove those. But all the other gardens along my road that I can see out my back window have all got these massive bird houses and feeding tables and things. There's a lot of birds around there. Anyway, that's enough. Let's have a look at these. So let's start with the dies and all the other tools and things. Now look at this. This is gorgeous. I appreciate when you see a die like this, you really want to see it cut. So that's this one here. Now I've cut this and paper pieced it. I'm going to do this for my first demonstration actually, so if you want to see how I've done that, you can. In fact, one thing I didn't mention, as always, is a giveaway. We are going to be giving away a complete collection to somebody. So all the items that you're going to be seeing here, we're going to be sending one of these out to one of you watching today. I'll announce that at the end of the hour. So maybe what I'd like to know in the comments to be in with a chance of winning this. You can enter on Facebook or on YouTube, and it's completely free to enter. So what I'd like to know is, okay, what's your favourite bird? There you go. What is your favourite bird? We've all got a favourite. Mine's a hummingbird. And I'll talk about that a little bit later while I'm crafting. But yeah, so what's your favourite bird? Pop that in the comments and I'll choose a winner. I think Hilary might be watching, so if Hilary's watching today, she can choose me a winner and send it through to me for the end of the hour. Yeah, so this is stunning. So we've got this parrot in flight. I mean, it's a huge parrot. If you want to snip that out, you can easily do that and just use that on a card. Alternatively, if you want to snip the bird out and just use the foliage and the florals around the edge as a beautiful frame, you can do that as well. It is really a very snippable die. Like I say, 5 by 7, so it's going to fit nicely on your slightly larger cards there, but snip into it, maybe just use part of it as a border perhaps. It's lovely. So we'll make that card first. So that's the parrot die set. Then we've got this embossing folder. Now I'm really excited about this because I've had this embossing folder for a very, very, very long time. It actually came to me a little bit earlier than it should have done, and I was crafting along with it. Oh look, Martha also said hummingbird as well, and Anne Suter said she loves hummingbirds and owls as well. Hummingbird's a popular bird, isn't it? I don't know how many hummingbirds. There is a hummingbird, look. So this embossing folder I've been playing with for a very long time. It's stunning. So you've got your tropical, is it hibiscus flowers in there? I hope I'm saying that right. And then you've got your fern leaves as well in there. They're gorgeous, but look at this. So this is copper embossing powder on black. So simply adding embossing ink to the embossing folder itself, running it through the machine, and then embossing the paper where the sticky ink has pressed with embossing powder. And you can do that with lots of different colours and effects, but I just love that really lovely luxurious look of the copper, the metallic on the black. So that's that embossing folder there. That's A5. Well, it's not A5, it's 5 by 7. To me, everything's A6, A5 or A4. Then we've got, excuse me, I'm sorry, last week, I don't know if you watched the lives last week. They weren't live because I had a terrible, terrible cold and cough, and I couldn't talk for more than 2 minutes without coughing. So every video, unfortunately, had to be recorded and then chopped to take all my coughing out. I'm getting there, but you will get the occasional one this week, I'm afraid. So I'll try and keep it minimal. I've got a drink here, but it's a fizzy drink, so every time I open it, it goes psst. So you know I can't drink it sneakily. And that's just fizzy drink, by the way. That's nothing else in it. It's a little bit early in the day. Tropical Birds and Flowers die set as well, part of this collection. We've got toucan in there. We've got the beautiful macaw parrot. I really should know my birds a bit more. The flamingo is lovely too. And there we go. We've got the hummingbird in there. We've also got some florals and some leaves that you can be die cutting. Also, they're absolutely beautiful. Let's see something. Look at these two. So these are two very, very simple cards I've done, just simply using those shapes as silhouettes. I think this is one of my favourites. Now, I will show you those papers in a moment, but just look at the black, how stunning it is. Look at the detail you're getting in there as well. Lovely to see some of you saying hello to each other on here as well. Oh yes, somebody loves peacocks. Now, I did have a textures peacock collection, which I absolutely adored, and that's purely because of the colours in them. They are stunning. So yeah, isn't that just gorgeous? There's so much detail. You can, of course, also colour these images in if you want to. You don't have to have them in a black silhouette, but that's just how I've done them for those cards. So there's all of those dies. Then we've got the stamp set as well. You're getting a lot in this collection, aren't you? You're getting a little bit of everything. Stamps, dies, embossing folder, stencil, will come to in a moment. So then we've got these stamps. Now this is a real mix of lots of different birds. Then you've also got your leaves and foliage and florals as well. So I hope none of you can hear the fan on in here either. The aircon is a bit warm today, so I've turned that on, but I'm hoping it's not humming in the background or anything. You never know what these microphones do. But let me know if it is frustrating anybody. Let me know. Hopefully it's nice and quiet for you. But I'm going to do this a little bit later, this background for you, just to show you how you can create your own backgrounds using stamps like this. That was one of my joints clicking. I'm getting old. So we've got the fern leaf here that I've just used repeated stamps, but like I say, I will do this as a demonstration in a little while. And then this stencil. So this stencil is wonderful. At first glance, I think, oh, okay, I'm not sure how much I could use that. But I mean, look, for example, look at this card. Look, you can just build up a border with the stencil. It's really easy to use, really good quality as well. I've then gone in with these stamps over the top as well, just to create this lovely foliage border with the sort of splash of colour on the outside, popped a sentiment on, and voila. Now the stencil is the freebie that you're going to be getting if you're spending over £15. Now let me just pop this back on the screen so you can see me again, I apologise. But yeah, so the stencil is the £5.99 item, but actually if you look at the items, I think there's nothing more than about £10.99 might be the highest price, something like that on there. Really low prices across everything, but if you're popping more than £15 worth of these items into your basket, you're going to get the stencil for free. Now what I'd suggest is don't put the stencil into your basket because that will count towards your £15. Put a couple of the other items into your basket. Then when you go to checkout, that will ask you, do you want to put the stencil into your basket for free? And you can say yes or no. Now I don't think anyone's going to say no thank you. Take the stencil, have some fun with it. So that will then be added to your order. You don't need to do anything else after that. Obviously while you're there, don't forget to add in your cardstock, your adhesives, your tools as well. We've got a huge range of those. Absolutely anything else you need, because if you're totting that up to over £30, you then get your free delivery on top. So that's your stencil. Lastly, now this is possibly my favourite piece of the whole collection. Now if you're really on a tight budget but you still want a little bit of this, if you want to donate that little bit to charity where the 10% of the profits are going to the RSPB, the paper pack has so much in it and it's such beautiful, beautiful papers. Now there's the front sheet. I'm just going to run through these with you. So there are 6 different designs. There's 24 in total and they're all 8x8. So you're going to get 8 of each design. Hang on, no. 6 designs, 4 of each design. Goodness me. 24 sheets, 4 of each design, 6 designs. Does that sound about right? Are my maths right? I think that's right. It's all 190 GSM. Now this paper is amazing. I wish we could have like it's not smell-o-vision, it's the one where you can feel things through the TV. I don't even know there's a word for it. I'd love you to be able to feel this paper because it's kind of got almost a velvety feel to it. It's such a soft feel to it. It's not glossy, as you can see. It's not glossy in the slightest. It's completely matte. It's a white core. You haven't got to try and decide which side of the paper you like best to use, which is going to be hidden. You can tear it, distress it, you can emboss it and sand it back and all that palaver. But look at this. Gorgeous, gorgeous designs. I'd love wallpaper like this. I'm not sure if my husband would quite love it as much as I do, but if I had a girly flat or apartment or room just for me with no husbands or sons about, I'd definitely be having these papers. And then we've also got, so there's 4 backing papers and then you've got 2 topper sheets as well. So you've got the, oh there you go, the aircon's just really kicked in. It must be getting warm in here, so excuse the rattling. So we've got the sentiments tags in here as well. Another, this one's a little more subtle. You've still got some lovely bright colours and a lot of detail in there, but just having those coral colours and the greens, they just work so well. This one's really nice and dark, perfect for putting your white die cuts on top of. And lastly, there's another sheet of toppers there. These are just going to make instant cards. I mean, for example, well, actually, these 3 cards have all been created really just using a topper on top of a background. Make your own background, use one of the pattern papers, you've got instant cards. Now the beauty of this is everything then coordinates, so you haven't got to think about matching your colours. And then, as I said, all the papers just continue going through. Now I have used some of these, obviously I've made my cards with them, so I've used quite a few of them, but I've still got loads and loads left. So like I say, if you're on a small budget today, definitely just the paper pack, you're going to have a little bit of everything, lots to fussy cut and snip out, lots of backgrounds and just sentiments as well. Now, I'm going to be good today. I'm going to do a couple more hellos and then we're going to get straight on to demonstrating. Anne Golden, hello to you. Good afternoon. Hello to all. She joined a bit late, but glad she made it. These items are beautiful. They are beautiful, aren't they? I love the emojis there as well. I'm going to pop over to YouTube and allow this to quickly catch up. Lots of you over there. Hello to you. How are you? Let's go back to the beginning. Fairy Crafter. Hello. She says, hi Lou, hi everyone, hi CraftStash. Hope everyone enjoyed the celebrations of the Jubilee. They were fantastic. Do you know what? I haven't even mentioned that. Yeah, how were your Jubilee celebrations? Was it 4 full days or did you just sneak a quick street party or something in and then carry on with your life? I mean, I went away and I walked up a mountain and I did zip lining over, I didn't actually do any Jubilee celebrations, but we were away for our anniversary instead, so a little bit different. Nature Reserve, thank you so much. Yes, RSPB Nature Reserve, that's what I was thinking of. We've got one near us, lots near us because I'm on the east coast of the country, so we've got lots of countryside and all of that. Kathleen Baker, good afternoon to everybody. Laurie Crawford says, I believe the entire collection is going to jump into my basket. Now, here's the thing. Many of you I know do wait around because you want to potentially win the collection, so you enter and you may hold off purchasing. If we say that you've actually, at the end of the hour, right, your name's been pulled out, you've won, and you've gone and already put this into your basket and paid for it, we will refund you for that. So don't hold off purchasing because you're waiting to win, because if you do happen to win, we'll refund you. Okay, so you won't get 2 of them. Does that make sense? So if you do want to potentially win this collection, the whole collection, all 6 items, all you need to do is comment and let me know what your favourite bird is. I'm not sure, I haven't checked with Hilary whether she's on her lunch break or not, possibly, but one of us will pick a winner and we'll announce it at the end of the hour. I say we like she's here with me, she's miles away. Right, okay, shall we get on with demonstrating? That's probably what you're here for, isn't it? So I'm a bit chatty today. Has anyone noticed? Because I haven't done a live for a few weeks with the whole bank holiday and everything. I haven't been properly live for a little while. So let's cut this. Now I'm going to bring in my smaller die cutting machine. I'm pretty sure it fits through here. I'm sure that's what I cut it on last time. I'm also going to bring in an item that I love. Now these should be available on CraftStash. They're an essentials item. These are basically just like foam, almost like foam sheets, felt sheets. They're quite thick. You pop them underneath your die, and what they do is they just give you added pressure because of the springiness of the material. They give you added pressure if and when you need it. Okay, so you don't always need pressure on dies, but when you've got a die that's as detailed and as large as this, sometimes you may find you do. Now I'm going to cut it without, but they're there if I need it. So if I was to run this through, or any die, not just talking about these Rspb ones, any large panel die like this, you probably know the ones, you go and cut them and you think there's a little patch somewhere that just doesn't quite go through. And very often it may be that your machine has what we call a soft spot. But there's not much you can do about that because it's in the machine. So this is where these will come in handy. You pop one of those underneath your die, run it through again, and that will just boost the areas that need it, give it a little more pressure. Now, while we're die cutting, I always die cut upwards. It's a habit of mine, but I've always found it tends to cut better as well. I'm going through a watercolor cardstock, so it's really quite a thick cardstock here. A lot of people will die cut downwards so they can see where they're placing their dies, and that's fine. But when I'm using I've got the CraftStash low tack tape here, an absolute essential as well. So that's $4.99 for 3 rolls with the dispenser as well. It's going to last you probably all year, that pack. Grab that, pop that in your basket whilst you're purchasing, because that is an absolute miracle work of holding your dies still, plus lots of other techniques as well. Anyway, so I use my tape, hold that still, and I pop this upside down. I just, for whatever reason, and I've got a theory with it, that the roller is then closer to the die, the cutting edge of the die. So you've got roller top, roller bottom in the machines, and the pressure is obviously going from the top and the bottom, squeezing the plates. Now in my mind, the pressure only has to come through this thin plate before it hits those cutting edges. If my die is the other way round, and my theory is the pressure from the bottom roller then has to come through this thick plate and all of this before it presses onto the cutting blades if you flipped it over. Does that make sense? It may be a completely incorrect theory, but that's what I'm going with, okay? So let's run this through, and if you're planning on running forward and then back again, it's a good idea to hold your plate. I don't know if you just see this. Let's do die cutting tips while we're here as well. So as your plate goes through, they tend to bend upwards, don't they, a lot of them. Try to hold that down there as you run it through and then back again, because that will help prevent your paper in your die moving about before you run it back down. I mean, have you ever run it back through and then you've kind of got that double cut where it's just slightly moved? Yeah, we've all done that. Look at that. Hoping you can see there in the shadow, that's cut absolutely beautifully. So I didn't need my foam. Let's pop that aside. I will need to do quite a few more cuts, but I'll do those in a moment. Let me see. Oh, Mrs. Stationery and Stuff on YouTube. My nan used to love doves, and she had these as ornaments. She always played with them because you could balance them on your finger. Ah, that reminds me. I went to a wedding once, and they had little paper birds that were folded like origami, and they balanced on the very rim of the glass. They just sort of bobbed there. That was really clever. I think you can do it. I've seen it with butterflies as well. Very clever. Okay, let's this is where I start making a mess. And as you all know, I like to be a nice clean crafter. The best way to get this out, I find, is give that all a bend. Okay, it's a large die, not too much. You just want to just shift things around in there a little bit. And then you've got release holes on here. So I'm just going to pop my pokey tool just through a release hole in the corner. You've got one in each corner. You've also got them all around the die anyway, and pull this out. So let me just see, there's not much left in here, so a couple of little bits just to clean up, and then I've got a nice clean die. Pop these bits to the side. This is kind of where I need intervals to clean up between. And I'm just going to pop all these pieces out. So which of this collection, the papers, the dies, the stamps, the embossing folder or the stencil, which is your favourite so far? Which ones do you love? And don't forget that stencil is your freebie if you're purchasing any of the collection spending over £15. So that will just be a pop-up at checkout, so you won't need to add the stencil into your basket. Just add other items that equal over 15, and then you've got your stencil coming at you. You just need to agree to have it, which, I mean, none of us are going to say no, are they? We're popping it all through here. See, it's releasing absolutely beautifully, getting tangled, but releasing. You could do it with your fingers. I use my pokey tool most of the time. Sometimes I just give it a wiggle with my fingers. Sometimes I just put it inside the waste paper bin and shake it around, and a lot of bits will come out, but you won't be able to see what I'm doing there, so not under my desk. So there you go, a little bit just getting tangled up. I think that's everything. There we go. Look at that. Isn't that just absolutely beautiful? Do you know what? That on its own is beautiful, isn't it? Everybody's loving this die. Do you know what? Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Laurie likes the stamps. Let me flip over to Facebook and have a look. Now I'm going to put this onto a paper. Now the darker the paper, the better. So there's this one. Look how that stands out. Isn't that beautiful? Now, one thing I haven't done, actually, I've got a couple of little bits just inside of the bird there that I didn't pull out. And there's one more. So can you see, where's the best way? Where's the best way to see the shadows? I'm hoping you can see those beautiful engraved lines. Do you know what? We've even got little bits inside his eyes that I've not popped out. There we go. You see, he's even got facial features there. Isn't that just gorgeous? Okay, so let's see. Who loves this? The paper. Yeah, Anne loves the paper. Lynn Clifton loves the big die and the papers. You're all many of you are along the same sort of theme. Now, I think I'm going to go with this paper because it's absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to trim this down to be just a little bit bigger now. Going to bring in my trimmer. A lot of these cards I'm doing from scratch, by the way. I don't have too much. I don't think I've really got anything pre-done today. So you'll have to put up with me, I'm afraid. Proper crafting from scratch. Hope none of you are in a hurry to see things come together. But that's just how it goes sometimes. There we go. So I'm just trimming this. I'm just placing my die cut on there, holding it still just so I can work out by eye a little bit of a border around the card. There you go. Just sit that back on. Yeah, lovely. Okay, that's going to fit beautifully on there. You can really see that detail, can't you, against the dark background. Then what I need to do is cut this bird a few more times. So I'm just going to place that on there, use my tape just to hold the paper down in one of the larger areas. Now this is where it takes just a few moments. There's one. Oh, run that through. It's always harder sitting down. If you have any trouble die cutting, stand yourself up, makes it so much easier. You seem to have so much more strength in your arms. There's one. Now, if I'd have been more prepared, I'd have had these all cut out ready for you. But I didn't. Can you forgive me? There's one. Okay. I'll do all the tidying up in a moment. And then we'll do some snipping. Now, let's just place that again on there. So find a large area on the paper, on the back of the die, just to stick that to. Now the reason I've chosen these colours is because if we look at that pattern paper, we've got the pale pink, we've got the bright fuchsia pink, and then we've got that deep orange as well. Did that go through? Yeah, I think that did. So I've picked colours. Now I could have chosen to go with the greens. I could have chosen to go with the The yellows that's in there as well is entirely your choice, but I've just chosen 3. Didn't even have to be 3, to be honest. I could have chosen a lot less than that. Look, that one's just come out absolutely beautifully. And then one more. I just need to pop these pieces out. I've got tape on my die that's holding everything still. Let me see. Anne Suter, thank you. Nothing to forgive me for. Oh, you're having to watch me craft, aren't you? Proper crafting. Getting messy and everything. We love that. I mean, very often you see demonstrations on Facebook, on YouTube, on TV even, if you watch the craft TV channels, and a lot of the demonstrations are pre-prepared, as in a lot of the work, the time-consuming work is already done. But today, you're getting to see raw crafting. Everything done from scratch, pretty much. I've got a plan, that's as far as I got with it, but sometimes it's good because you get the extra tips, don't you, and tips and tricks, and things could go wrong as well. Now, I've chosen the yellow as well, not only because it matches with the papers, but also the beak and the claws of the parrot are there. So let's pop that out of the way. Let's see. So we want this piece. We want this piece. I'm going to do some quick tidy up. Don't forget to enter, everybody. Just let me know, and you can comment as many times as you like. What is your favourite bird? Do you keep birds, maybe? Are you a twitcher? I wonder where that word came from, twitcher. If anyone knows, again, let me know. Do you know someone who is a twitcher? So would this collection be maybe making cards for them? I think if you were to sell your cards at a craft fair, full angel policy on these, by the way, everybody. So that's 200 of any one design each year you can create to sell for profit or charity, whichever you prefer. So 200 of any one design, that is actually identical designs. So you can make 200 of an identical design and then simply change a button or a sentiment or a background colour, and then you can make another 200. So really generous. I don't actually need to be cleaning all of that out right now because we want to get on with building this decoupage bird up. So pop this along to my little scraps pile there. Now what I'm going to do is start layering this up. So if I show you this, this is what we're going to end up with. And I've just got a slightly different background I used there, but we've got the nice dark background. We've got the white. Then we're going to need, let's do the dark pink first of all. So with these, you need some fussy cutting scissors. Does anyone keep budgies anymore? From Janet Fellows. Mum had one and she simply loved it. Do you know what? I don't know. My friend has a parrot, or had a parrot. I'm not sure. I must admit, I've not visited for a long time. I don't know if she still has the parrot, but she did have a parrot. But I don't know about budgies. Everybody used to have them, didn't they? I just remember, did anyone ever watch, I'm sure some of you did, Only Fools and Horses, where they thought that they'd accidentally harmed the budgie, so they went out to buy a new one. And yeah, has anyone seen that? The budgie had already died the morning before anyway, so they didn't need to replace it. So the owner thought that the budgie had come back to life. It was hilarious. I grew up on Only Fools and Horses, everybody. I apologise. You'll hear many little quotes from it. But yeah, people did have budgies. So I'm just going round the tail feathers, anywhere where the foliage joins the parrot's feathers. Okay, it's really easy to see as well. Just here. The tail feathers, you can almost make up where the lines go as well. You don't need to be too precise with them. And the same there. Just little snips all the way around. And the claws, there we go. So there we've got our first layer of our bird. Now you can keep it like that if you like. You can just have the pink bird if you want to. Then I need the body of the bird. So I'm just going to cut away. I'm going to have the tops of the wings, so almost like where the arms would be, I suppose. So these parts. So let's go up here along to the frame, and let's keep it. You're going to need some detail glue for sticking these down as well. And then you've got all these lines, you can just wiggle your scissors. A lot of the lines are already cut for you. And then I'm just going to come along. There's my aircon getting grumpy at me. Saying it's too hot in here. It's the computer, it makes it hot. And that's going to sit let's just line that up over there. Now, before I glue that one down, because he looks, this is quite funny, when I was putting this one together, I placed the pink layer on and I thought, do you know what? He looks like he's just a little bit naked. He just he needs some feathers on his tummy and around here a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is bring in a bright pink which matches that cardstock, and I'm going to do a nice blend that goes from the feathers and up using these ink applicators, because you've got a nice small amount here. So popping the ink on there, and then I'm just going to brush under here and give it a nice blend up so it doesn't look quite so much like he's got a shaven tummy, giving him a little bit of warmth, and it just blends in a little bit as well. The same, I'm just going to bend this wing round so I can get a bit of colour around there, and then maybe under his neck. It just, yeah, just gives him a little more dignity. There we go. You don't look quite so cold. Lynn Clifton, excuse me, long-tailed tits are another favourite bird, but they fit in and out. Oh, sorry, they flit in and out very quickly and move on to another garden. One thing I've always wanted is one of those bird boxes or bird houses that kind of, excuse me, clearing my throat now, that attach to the window so you can see inside from outside. No, inside the birdhouse from inside your house. I've just always loved that. My friend had a birdhouse with a camera in, so you could see the mother coming and feeding the little chicks. It was just so cute. So yeah, something I'd always love to get. I did get one once, but where I placed it, I think they just didn't like it. They weren't so keen on the location. Nobody ever occupied it. Now with the feathers, I want to keep some of the bright pink feathers. So I'm just going to add a few of these shorter tail feathers here in the orange, and the end feathers in each of the wings. So rather than going with all of the feathers, so let's snip those away first of all. Whoops. And it's quite nice as well if you've got the time to stagger the pink and yellow. If you could maybe do alternate, that would be lovely. I won't put you through me cutting all of that out today, but it's another option for you. Let's see, snipping one. Let's cut around this feather here. So have you all just let me know in the comments your favourite birds. We'll pick somebody at the end who's going to win the whole collection. But if you are wanting to grab it, because of course these collections very often do sell out very quickly, if you are hoping to grab it and secure it earlier, by all means go ahead, check out, buy it from CraftStash. And if you are our winner, we will refund you that. So don't worry about that. It's not a problem. Right, let's see. Where am I going with this? Got a few of the back feathers there. Okay, now, something that I didn't get out and is extremely handy when you're doing paper piecing like this is your tweezers and your fine glue applicator. I don't know if these are back in stock, but this is the Pink Frog glue applicators. Many of you who watch regularly know I use this an awful lot. So, oh, I didn't do the beak. Oh, I'll do the beak and the claws from the yellow in a moment. I thought there was something I was missing. So, first of all, let's pop the pink down. This is our base layer, the fuchsia pink, making sure you capture all the ends. If you wanted to though, if you wanted to do more of a dimensional card, you could leave some of these wings feathers lifted up. That would be pretty. Let's pop this on here. There we go. Then the pale pink. Maybe I should have chosen another colour for his body so it didn't look quite so chilly, but never mind. There we go, going directly on top. I've got that little bit of inking in there as well, which I'm sure he'll thank me for. Just lining up the wings. Then the end feathers. And then of course I'll just cut out the beak and the claws. You see how everything just sits together. You're just decoupaging because it's all come from the same die cut. It takes no time at all to line everything back up. And you know, sometimes I do forget that you can paper piece dies. I look at something and think, oh, that's going to take a lot of colouring. But actually paper piecing can be really therapeutic. So the glue I've got in here, I think it's now the CraftStash glue at the moment. I've got sitting in there. Let's see the comments. Benita, hello to you. How are you? Really stunning. Thank you ever so much. Kate Baker, the loud but tiny wren is another favourite bird. So noisy for such a small bird. Yeah, it is, isn't it? It really is. I need to get out and find... we've actually got peacocks 2 doors up from me, and chickens, roosters. Oh, the rooster lets us know when it's morning. A couple of doors up as well. So they're all there making lots of noise. Particularly the peacocks. Now, the peacocks threw me once because I didn't know until I moved to that village. I didn't know what a peacock sounded like. I'd never really listened to one. And they cry, don't they? They sound like someone's screaming sometimes. If you've ever heard a peacock, you'll know exactly what I mean. But they are noisy little things, little big things. But yeah, and one time my cat went missing. He's been found now, by the way. And I heard this peacock crying, and it just sounded like my cat, strangely. It wasn't. It was just a peacock. It turns out my cat was actually many, many, many miles away. He'd managed to accidentally get caught into a lorry or something, or truck. We're not quite sure how, but he ended up over 200 miles away. And we found that out 6 years later. I got a call a few months ago from a vet to say they found my cat. His microchip was scanned. Get your cats and dogs microchipped, everybody, because even if it's 6 years later, they do turn up. Anyway, there's a little story for you. There we go. So there's the bird with the beak, all paper piece. Now, I'm not going to worry about gluing that down, but as you can see from this card here, I've added foam around the edge, and that just gives that little bit of dimension. There's also a layer of foam through underneath the bird so it doesn't squish down, and you've got that dimension there. So that's how easy that is to build that bird up. Really, really super quick, isn't it? Even when you're chatting away. Yeah, peacocks are very, very noisy. No, I didn't take my cat back, Maria, because somebody else actually was looking after him, and that's how he got scanned. He was obviously stray for a long time. Somebody found him, took him in, looked after him for a long time, finally took him to the vet to get him microchipped, and they said, there's already a microchip here. So I couldn't, because there was young children in the family, I couldn't take him away from the family, so I let the family keep him. Yeah, that was, I don't know if anyone remembers, we used to do What's Hot as a Tuesday sort of sales show kind of thing, telling you what's discounted. It was just 10 minutes before a What's Hot show that I actually got the phone call, which was really quite, I say upsetting, is that the word? I had to do the What's Hot show, really quite emotional. I was happy he was found, but yeah, quite upsetting at the same time that I knew I would then never have him back. But we do get photos from the owners and things like that. It's funny because they thought for years they thought he was a girl. Anyway, let's work with this stencil now. Oh yes, I'd love to see a white peacock. Yeah, absolutely, definitely. Who else have I just seen? Elaine Jasper, beautiful bird. Yeah, absolutely, definitely. Right, now let's make use of this beautiful stencil, or mask, whichever way you like to call it. So I've got my blending brushes here, and I've got a couple of different greens. Let's start with saltwater taffy. Have you got your hands on saltwater taffy? It's back. Oh, it was back in stock. Obviously, when the first distressed colours come out, they do sell out very, very quickly, but they do eventually then come back in. So got my hands on saltwater taffy, one of the more recent colours. Did I not see though online that Mr. Holtz is launching a new colour this weekend? Can anyone confirm or deny that? I'm sure I saw that, unless I dreamt it. I do dream about craft quite a lot. So just adding in a block of background colour here, just with a nice contrasting colour. So the saltwater taffy is perfect to go with the green. So just blending that in there. Then I'm going to take, let's take the pale one here. So just so for those of you, this is what we're creating. Just going to do this border here. So let's see, I've got that green. I've got another green in here somewhere, or I should have. Let's use that one instead, the lighter one. So we'll start with the lighter green. So I'm actually layering up 2 different colours using the 2 different styles of leaves that's on the stencil there. So we've got these ones that have all the veins in and such. So just be very careful with your stencils. I mean, I'm rushing a little bit so I can get the next demonstration done for you as well. But if you have got the time, mask around your stencil, because the last thing you want to do is be accidentally inking over the edge of your stencil or through one of the other images, because that will just ruin the whole lovely look that you're going for. You can still hear. Oh, I hope you're okay. Let me see. It's showing that my sound's okay this end. I'm not sure who lost it. Went out and back in. Okay now. Oh, good. Oh, it's Carol. You've got me back. Oh dear, poor you. There we go. So let's switch to another. I will come back to that green because I'll do a little bit more of it in the middle. Let's work with these. I love these. Now, are these like birds of paradise type flowers? I think they are. I had my honeymoon in St Lucia, and that's where I fell in love with hummingbirds. I saw an actual hummingbird just inches from my face, working away fluttering around this little bush as we were in our hotel complex. It was it's such a beautiful bird. That's why I love them. Never seen one in real life. They were almost one of those sort of birds that you just think don't really exist, because you know they're just always in films. You don't really see them, but we saw one. But I also saw real birds of paradise flowers, and I'm talking huge. It wasn't, I know you can get smaller ones in the UK. This one was taller than me. It was massive, and it was just absolutely stunning. There we go. So just mixing and matching. I'm going to give this a little bit of a wipe. I'm not sure if I've got a wipe. No, I'm going to have to grab one from behind because I don't want any of that ink spreading. Trying to keep things a little bit clean. Thank you very much, Karen. She did lovely cards. This card's really beautiful. Thank you so much. It comes together. Do you know what, Tracy? Do you know what? Your name popped up last night. It was. I was on social media. I was on Facebook. You're on Facebook now, so I was on Facebook, and I was not in a local selling group, but I saw something from a local selling group, and I didn't realise. How have I missed this, Tracy? That you live really close to me, because you're in one of the local selling groups. Have I met you before? I probably have, and I'm really terrible with names, so I apologise if I've met you before locally, and I don't remember. I'm sorry, but hi, local friends. Let's use this one here, so bundled sage, and pop this. Oh no, I've already used that one. The beauty of this though is that you can flip them and make them look really quite different. Here we go, just the lighter green here, and then, oh, don't let it move. This is why you want to be using that low tack tape that I was talking about earlier. Then I'm going to bring in the 3 leaves there with the darker green. You can really play with this and just keep layering and layering. Directly over the top there with the darker green. There we go. Now to finish this off and basically to fill in any gaps, I'm going to come to the stamp here. Let me see, we've got 15 minutes. So not too long left. Now I'd usually use my stamping platform, but because I'm going to do short, sharp sort of stamping, where's that wipe? Let's just clean this off, keeping my clean crafting name, making sure I clean things as I go. I'm just going to use my acrylic block here and a black. I'll use Memento ink. All birds are fascinating to watch. This is from Sharon Ward on Facebook. They all have their little quirks, just like us humans, but blue jays are very fascinating. My husband has trained one of the blue jays to take peanuts out of his hand. Let's not forget the hummingbird, so cute, extremely tiny. We have hummingbird feeders. Where are you, Sharon? You don't have hummingbirds in the UK, do you? You surely don't. No, you don't. I'm not imagining that, am I? Let me know, Sharon. Whereabouts are you? That would be amazing to know. If you've got hummingbird, you actually have hummingbirds visit you in your garden. I want to come see you. So I'm just over stamping, just over the edge, this gorgeous fern leaf. There we go, just to create that tropical edge card. So nothing complicated, nothing specific there, just stamp away and stencil away until you're happy with the effect. Now for this, all I've done is I've gone ahead afterwards, got a similar one here, and I've just quickly matted that onto a card, onto a base layer with a piece of foam, another white, so white and white, and then just added a sentiment. So I did make sure my colours kind of matched the sentiment that I chose, so I chose that in advance. That's within the papers, so you're going to find those sentiments in there. Okay, do we have time? We have time for one more. I'm going to keep this stamp on here because I'm going to use this. Let's do one more quick demonstration using this stamp, and this is ideal for absolutely any stamp that you've got that's a little background stamp you can use. Let me see. Oh yeah, Sharon's in California. That's why you get hummingbirds. I'm glad you didn't say you're in the UK because I would look really silly then, wouldn't I? Now I'm going to first of all prepare my piece of paper. I'm going to do some embossing. So I'm going to find, there it is, so my CraftStash embossing bag. This has just got the powder in. I just want to make sure I've got no static on there. It's an anti-static bag, but to be honest, I do it more for the little greasy marks that I get on my fingers. That removes everything. Thank you so much, Carol. Jackie Drake says, Colorado friends fed them sugar water every single day, and there was tons and tons of them feeding from a massive specialised feeder. Oh, I'm so jealous. Okay, now just as I did with the black fern leaf stamp, I was just kind of stamping off the edge. I'm going to do the same. Now, unfortunately for many of you, you're not going to really see this until I start adding the colour in a little while. But I'm going to keep it reasonably quick, and I'm just going to do the edges or one corner with the stamp. It's just to make this a little bit quicker for you. And I'm twisting the stamp so it's all different directions as well. White embossing powder, just plain white, all over here. Now I need a piece of paper or something to tap this off into. So that's literally the whole jar on there. Let me see. Piece of paper. You'd think as a crafter I would have lots and lots of paper laying around. I've got a Craft World template here. That will do. So what I tend to do is come over to my paper and, whoop, don't do that. I was going to say give it a shake, not I throw it all in the air. There we go. Right. That and that can go over there. And I'll clean this mess up later. Ready? There's nothing more annoying, I'm sorry, than embossing powder, where it gets in places you don't want it to. And I mean on your craft desk as well. So this is just white now. I don't think you can, oh look, you can see. I think you can just about see that. So I'm just going to, I've even got embossing powder on my nail. That's ridiculous. Don't want to set that on there, do I? So hopefully this is not too loud for you. Just set these. So have you all entered the competition? Like I say, if you do want to secure your RSPB collection, if you want to pop into your basket and pay for it, and you do win, if I do read your name out, we'll refund you the cost of your order, so don't worry about that. If you're purchasing any of this collection over £15, you're then going to get the option to put the stencil that I was just using into your basket completely for free. What else is there? Oh, we have ClearPay, so if you're popping it up to £40, not only are you going to get your free delivery because your order is over £30, but you're also going to then get the option to spread your payments over 4 2-weekly payments with no interest and no credit check either. So that's handy. You just split that into every 2 weeks, you pay a quarter of your payment. That's great if you're doing something like, I don't know, buying a machine, you know, those cutting machines and things like that. They can cost a little bit, can't they? Or die cutting machines. There we go. I think, oh, is that bit? No. So you can see with embossing powder, it does go glossy as soon as it's finished melting. Now I need to bring that mat back in. And I'm just going to spritz the entire paper over with a bit of clear water first of all. Just moving these out the way to make sure they don't get wet. I'm going to bring in some of my Textures watercolour inks. Have you had your hands on any of these yet? Have you had a try? There's been a few of them in Papercraft Society boxes, or you can, I think they're about $19.99 full price, but they're very often on offer. I know Sheena will have them on Create and Craft next week. Little sneak peek there, a little bit of secret information, but I'm just using a drop at the moment. I may add a little bit to that, but just one drop of the green and the blue. This comes from the Brights collection. There's a Brights and there's an Urbans. And I'm going to wet my brush as well, because that helps it spread a bit further. I'm going to pick up the green. I'm just going to dollop green into each of the leaves, and I'm not being specific, as you can see. I'm just splodging. There we go. Splodging the greens. I'm then going to pick up blue and again splodge around the outside of the leaves. Not worrying about the colours mixing. I actually love when the colours mix. There we go. And then, there we go, a little more water, and allow that to just all run together. So you've got the green is kind of focusing on the centre of the leaves, but not too much. Leave some white patches, let the green run into the blue, whichever you like. Now, I'm just going to clean off my paintbrush and just go along the edge, making sure that there's the detail in each of those. Lovely. Okay, now I'm going to dry this off. Okay, while I'm drying this off, I'm just going to have a look through the comments, and I'm going to see whether or not we have a winner. I'm not sure if Hillary's with us today. I'm going to have to choose a winner. I'm going to have to go through social media. I'll do that in a moment. I'll do that live. What I'll do is I'll do the scroll and stop. So just drying off those. Let's see, comments. Hello YouTube, I'm back on YouTube. I say back, I didn't go anywhere, just had it on Facebook chat. I can only do one at a time. Beth Rogers. Oh, you're having a conversation with Paints and Glitter. Okay. Sandra Reese says, I love the pelican. It makes me travel to I can't say that. Paradisiac Island? Paradisiac? Is that right? Oh, wow. Don't use words that I don't know, please, because I have to read them out. Thank you, Fairy Craft. She says, that's super. She loves that. What are the inks called? I just use, so these are the Textures watercolour inks. I believe, let's say, there's a 5-pack. They're the Brights colours. You can see the 4 colours on them. That's a green. It's a bit faded now because I've been using these for about the last year. A green, a bright pink, a blue, an orange, and a deep red in the Bright selection. Now, this is my favourite colour of all, the blue, and I've only half used that, and I use them for so much. Then you've got the Urbans. Now this is the black, the brown, the deeper red, the more muted blue, and the purple. So if you get 2 of those, you don't actually get a repeat in the colours because the reds and the blues are different in each, different sort of shades and hues. $19.99 each, but like I say, if you watch Craft TV, our lovely Sheena has a launch next Wednesday, I believe, in the morning. She will have those inks on her show. Can't guarantee she'll be using them, but they will be available, and I know they're going to be at a pretty good price. But otherwise, you can secure them on CraftStash right now. Okay, so there's my background. Now, one more thing you can do with these inks, I'm just going to make sure the lids are on those, is as you do with your distress inks and your distress oxides, you know, you've probably seen very often people will add water to their dried ink or their blended ink. They'll let it sit and then you'll get your watermarks. This works in exactly the same way. So I'm just going to allow that to sit for a moment. There we go. So what it's starting to do is react with the ink underneath and almost dilute it. Okay, I'll take a piece of, oh, where's my tissue box gone? There it is. Take a piece of tissue. I think we've had a lot of talk about birds today, haven't we? I'll give that another minute. So let's pick our winner. Okay, so I've got my phone on, I've got my comments on. What I'm going to do is just scroll and go, that person. Okay, I have to go the nearest, here you go, Maria Husk. Sorry, the nearest bird question, answer to the bird question. Maria Husk, congratulations, you've won the collection. She says, my favourite bird is a magpie. She has one visit her every day while she's washing up. She talks to him through the window and he tilts his head like he's listening to me. That's funny because I always thought magpies, I'm just going to like your comment, Maria, just so you know you are the winner, but I always thought that magpies were bad luck and I've always saluted them and said, hello, Mr. Magpie. I know 2 is good luck, isn't it? Now, can you see the white speckles just by lifting off that water? Like I say, the same way as you would if you were using your Distress inks and oxides. I know I've gone a bit off-piste by using the inks there, but with the fern leaves in the background, it's a really pretty background. And here's one I did. It was a little bit neater, this one. But you can see I did exactly the same in the backgrounds there. Not so loose. I did mix the colours a little bit more and have more of a solid wash of colour all the way over, but I did concentrate a bit more green in the leaves. But yeah, that created that background. The black is the contrast, the layers there really makes everything stand out. It matches with the black of the toucan there as well. And then this is just a topper. All of this simply trimmed out, and there we go. So that is a super quick card. You've got another background there, so I can make another one now if I want to, or I can cut into that if I wanted to cut those leaves out and use those as some really nice distressed leaves for something. But yeah, there we go. So there's 3 cards that I've shown you how I put together from this collection. So this is the Rspb Tropical Birds collection. Congratulations to Maria Husk for winning the whole collection. Maria, let me know if you did purchase it already. Let us know, but simply email customerservice@craftstash.co.uk. Let us know that you are our winner from today's live. You've won the collection and what your postal address is. I'll get that sent out to you as soon as possible. I think that's everything. So we're bang on time. That's an hour. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. Now, 2 days' time, really exciting. We've got another launch. I'm going to be here on my own, so please come join me. Please come talk to me in the comments. We're going to be launching the licensed product of Paddington. So for you to craft away with, it's absolutely beautiful. You can see a sneak peek in this here banner that I'm about to put up for you. You probably saw it at the beginning as well. So join me at 12:30, right where you are now, YouTube or Facebook, wherever you're watching. I'm going to have 3 giveaways for you that day. So join me on Friday, 12:30. I'd love to see you there. Enjoy the rest of your week. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.